Well, I'm going to try to do something you're not supposed to do, and that is charge all the way to the top. Because from what I understand, that's the only way you can determine if you've had any range loss, and if so, how much. Everyone's had range loss, actually. It's only a question of how much. It's only when it's brand new that you don't have any range loss. And I'm over here at the superchargers, you can see. So I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. And by the end of this video, which will be just a few short minutes for you, I will know how much range I've lost. And right now I've got 43,600 miles. So we will find out. All right, we're getting close to full. And if you don't know, if you're not aware, things really slow down, especially as you get near the top, because you can't figure out where the top is. We're on 12 kilowatts of energy and 145 miles per hour, which is pretty slow. It gets even slower actually at times, and it can't quite figure out where the end is, so it really, you end up killing so much time. And sometimes when you get near the top, it feels like you're doing nothing, which is why I usually don't ever charge to the top. But I'm going to do it this time so I can figure out how much range loss is happening. If anybody knows another way to figure out the range loss without charging to the top, let me know, please. Thanks. Okay, now we're down to 5 minutes left. It's supposed to be 257, I think, from the factory. But it just starts barely adding stuff at this point in time. That's been my experience. I don't even know if we'll get to be much over 250. We'll see. Okay, we did hit 250, but you can see it's not sure where to end. It just says calculating time remaining. Oh, we got 251. Look at that. We will see what we'll get. But as you also know from some of my other videos about optimal charge limits, this stresses the battery out. So as soon as it's done, I'm going to start driving almost immediately as soon as it tells me it's done, because I don't want to keep it in a full state of charge. You don't really ever want to do that. Well, we've been on here for quite a while, 251, and not really even budged. Let's see, 6:39. I didn't show you the time before, but we've probably been here for 5 minutes or more. Not even budged. You can see that 2 kilowatt charge rate, that's barely even doing anything. That might even be slower than plugging it into a 120 outlet at this point. But it's got to slow it down. You can't ram it full of electricity all the way up to the very end. You'll really do some damage if you do that. It's got to slow it down. Oops, let's see. There we go. It's got to slow it down as it gets to the top. Still waiting. See, it feels like we're stalled out. 6:45 now. We're down below 100 miles per hour. I guess it's putting electricity in there, but you know, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. We are still going, and I just did the math. If it ends up at 251, well, it came from the factory with 257. And I know I've charged it all the way up before, early on, and it was actually reading 259, but 257 was the factory rating. So that would mean 2.3% range loss if we're at 251. So 257 to 251, 2.3% over 43,000 miles. That's actually, I think, less than some of the average charts that I'm seeing. So, and that's kind of amazing if that's true, because I've supercharged almost the entire time. I've got videos on that. I'm supercharging at least 95% of the time, if not more, if not 100% of the time. So those direct current chargings apparently aren't really causing any problem with range loss, at least not that I'm seeing right now, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to hang out here until it stops. We might get up to 252, but that's it. If we are where we are, it's a 2.3% range loss and 6 miles over 43,000 miles. You can see we're down to 1 kilowatt now. Still killing all kinds of time. Sometimes it's fluctuating down to 0. It must be about to stop, go off. I guess it just tapers it down to 0. That's how you know when you get close to the end. But it just seems to take forever, and of course it hasn't even added 1 more mile of range. Oh, see, it's actually sometimes it goes down to 0. Notice that. It's going to be going off in a second here. It's got to be almost done. But you can see how it's not worth filling this thing up to the last second. You just kill so much time. Gosh. Just waiting on this thing. Oh, still waiting. Taking forever. Remember, don't do this unless you're trying to figure out the range loss. And even then, I think we're just killing time because it's probably going to be 251 anyway. There he goes. We're done. All right. Took forever, and it was what I said. We did the math. We already know. 2.3% loss. A total of 6 miles of range loss over 43,000 miles. And I've only had the car since the middle of March. And it's almost February now of the following year. So thanks for watching.
In 700 feet, turn left on Tamiami Trail East.
Oh, and one last thing to remember, you're not going to have any regen braking when you charge up this high, okay? Because when you're outside the parameters on the high end, well, there's no regen. Oh my gosh, you got to hit the brakes all of a sudden. I would normally not have to hit the brakes. But when there's no regen, you'll feel like the brakes aren't working as you expect them to be. Just remember that. I got videos on that too. If you search my channel.